Good morning everybody, I hope you've had a lovely Christmas so far. It's feeling very Christmassy here where we are at the moment. We've woken up to snow, which is very pretty, and we've got a special Christmas edition for you today. We're going to be answering some questions that you have sent us on Instagram and on YouTube, and also on Facebook I think. So we're going to give you a nice little edition of getting to know us a bit better, and we hope you enjoy this episode. It's the last one of the year, so we'll see you next year after this video. Hi everyone, and welcome to our channel. We are Hannah and Jonny, also known as Finding Our Adventure. In 2020 we converted our Ford Transit to live in full time. Since then, we've been on an endless adventure with our two cats, Tia and Skye, exploring, living and working in our tiny home. Join us each week for a new episode of Finding Our Adventure.
So, as Hannah said, we've received lots of lovely questions to answer, and I think seeing as it's snowed overnight and it's about -4 at the moment, the first question we're going to go with is, what is it like to live in a van over winter?
Okay, so winter in a van in the UK specifically, it can be pretty tough going, especially because there's not as much daylight, and van life is really great when you can be outside a lot more. So in the winter you are inside a lot more, but we do try and make sure we go outside. Obviously it's a lot colder, but we do have our diesel heater, which keeps us really nice and toasty and helps for the van not freeze up. And also the only really annoying thing about winter van life really is the condensation in the mornings on your windows. So we have a window vacuum that we just use every morning just to clear it all up, and we've also recently bought a dehumidifier, which seems to be working really well, and actually the last couple of mornings we've pretty much had no condensation on the windows, which has been a massive surprise. So yeah, that's winter van life.
Yeah, we do have other dehumidifiers, but they do collect water, but this one just seems to have, like, the last couple of mornings has made such a big difference.
Yeah, it's been quite a surprise.
And also we do leave the roof window open a crack as well to let ventilation in.
Yeah. You got anything else to add?
Nope. So the next question is, how do you shower in the van? And also a follow-up question to that one that we've received as well is, would we have an outdoor shower in the snow? So yeah, we do have a shower in the van. We've shown it many times on our videos that we have like an electric drop-in pump shower that we put in the bucket. We heat water up on the stove, and we can have a shower just like in a home. We've actually got a shower cubicle in the van as well, which is really nice, and we can have outdoor showers as well. So would you have an outdoor shower in the snow?
Oh, probably not, unless it was really warm.
What,
like,
in the snow?
Like really hot.
Oh, the water.
Yeah, the only thing is, because we've got a cubicle inside the van, I probably wouldn't have it outside.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if I was in a really crazy place and I'd, run around somewhere and I was really sweaty and I need a shower, maybe I would.
I think if the views were epic, like if it was a crazy beautiful mountain view or something, then that'd be really cool to have an outdoor shower in the snow. But other than that, we've got the indoor shower in our van, and it just doesn't seem to make any sense to have a freezing cold shower outdoors. Obviously we expected this question to come along.
Oh yeah.
How do you have sex in the van?
Our most asked question. No, it's not.
Same as you do in a house.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Much, it's not that much different, other than obviously being respectful to where you are, and
and then the follow-up question to that one is, are we planning to have babies?
Well, that is a very good question, and we definitely do want to have kids, both of us, don't we?
Yep, at some point.
Yeah.
But
and we're just figuring out how it works with us, how it would fit in with obviously our current situation. We travel a lot, but we don't think that's going to change when we have kids. We'd love to take them with us and bring them along on the adventure. So yeah, it's just going to be figuring out how we do that.
Yep.
And
some point in the future there'll be kids. So the next question is, are we living in the van to save up for a house?
Oh, okay, yeah. So we actually, before we moved into our van, we had bought a flat, and we rented it out whilst we moved out of into the van. So we still own that flat. We are actually at the moment trying to sell it to basically figure out what we're going to be doing next. We've got some ideas of projects and things that we want to do, so fingers crossed we can reveal all those plans to you soon. But yeah, we love van life, but I don't think it's something we're going to be doing forever.
It is a choice to live in a van as well.
And yeah, we haven't been forced to live in a van. You know, we are choosing to do that, even though people think it's crazy.
Follow-up question from the last one is, what are your plans for the next 5 years?
Okay, plans for the next 5 years. That is a long time. We're not very good at planning that far ahead. Definitely not at the moment. We're definitely thinking kind of like a year at a time. So for the moment, we're obviously trying to sell our flat so that we could potentially move abroad. So we're really excited to try out maybe living somewhere different than the UK. So we're just trying to figure out where that's going to be, how it will work, and just try it out. And if it doesn't work, we can always move back here. But yeah, next 5 years, hopefully children, maybe another project, and yeah, we'll see again in 5 years whether I was right about answering this question.
I think those things are going to happen within the next year. So next 5 years, we don't really know. We don't plan that far ahead. So yeah, future plans. So the next question is quite a long one. What do you love the most about travelling, vlogging lifestyle, and what do you find the hardest? If you could snap your fingers, where would you go right now? Is there somewhere you've never been but always wanted to go?
Boy, that's more than one question. So the first part was, what is our favourite part about this lifestyle?
Yep.
Okay, so for me, it's definitely like the flexibility, I think, and the choice of being able to explore places that maybe we've always wanted to explore, having that freedom. Definitely, I think for me personally, especially because I got quite ill 2 years ago now with long COVID, and it really affected what I could do. I basically was bedridden and I couldn't really do anything. And I sometimes have quite bad days, and this lifestyle does kind of help me kind of work around those days as well. So if I'm really not feeling great, I can afford to just, you know, maybe work the next day, but obviously that means that we won't have an income, so we've still got to work, and we still make sure that we're, you know, working as well. So I don't know if I've answered that question very well, but that's that part of the question. What was the other part?
If you could snap your fingers right now, where would you go?
For me, the first place that comes to mind is Nepal.
Go back to Nepal.
Yeah, I really like Nepal. Where would you go?
I'd go to Nepal or Bali, I think.
Yeah, I thought
really
you'd
like
say
those.
Bali.
Yeah, I love Bali. Okay, so that question kind of leads on to the next question, is how do we make money? So what we do is we worked for different businesses for the last 10 years or so, but we also ran a wedding photography business. And in 2017, we actually started finding our adventure when we went travelling to Southeast Asia for 6 months. And over the last few years, we've been able to build it up to the stage where we've been able to work with brands, tourism boards, and various different partners to bring in an income. And we do a lot of commercial photography as well. So basically, that's perfect for this type of lifestyle because we can be on the road in the van and we can be making money as we go. So that sustains this lifestyle. We earn enough money to keep going, and we're growing and getting busy all the time, which is really great. And yeah, it's just like the perfect kind of work to be able to do on the road. And it suits us because we always wanted to be photographers. So the next question is there anywhere that we've travelled to that has been a disappointment? And this has been a hard question. We've just been thinking about this and talking about this for the last 10 minutes because it's hard to think about a place that's been a disappointment because each place is different, each place has its own culture, and we do a lot of research before we travel anywhere, so we try not to go anywhere that we will be disappointed by. But the only thing that comes to mind is when we were in Southeast Asia, we just spent a month travelling around the Philippines, and we had an absolutely amazing time visiting all the different islands, going to all the amazing beaches. And at the end of the Philippines, we actually had a bit of a motorbike accident, and Hannah burnt her leg quite badly. And so a couple of days after that accident, we flew to Malaysia, to Kuala Lumpur, and basically Hannah was bedridden for 2 weeks or just under 2 weeks, I think it was. And so I was basically going out on my own, finding food, bringing it back to Hannah, and didn't really have much of an opportunity to explore the city or the country much when we were in Malaysia. And so that felt like a bit of a disappointment, purely because it was a very busy city. Hannah was stuck in the bed in the hotel, and we didn't really get to see much of it. So I don't think that's necessarily Malaysia's fault or Kuala Lumpur's fault. It was just the circumstances surrounding it. But yeah, as I said, we quite carefully plan each adventure, so we go to places that we quite enjoy.
I've just been thinking about it. It's not actually somewhere we've been together, but I went on a family holiday that was a really amazing place. It was Mauritius, and it was an absolutely beautiful island. But I just remember we went snorkeling, and the coral there had been completely trampled and ruined. And I just remember thinking that it was going to be like this beautiful paradise, like clear water and beautiful coral reefs, and yeah, it was really sad to see that. So I think maybe there's been other places as well, maybe where I think, especially travelling around Southeast Asia, seeing places where it's just kind of like
palm oil plantations.
Yeah, palm oil plantations, like in Sumatra, or maybe just seeing a lot of rubbish, like in India. I feel like that's the only kind of like disappointing thing that maybe we've seen whilst travelling, but I wouldn't say like as a destination it's been a disappointment.
Yeah, it's more human impact that's a disappointment than the actual destination.
Yeah, so that's just my take on the question.
Do we ever wish we had a larger van or vehicle?
Yeah, good question. Something that we debate about. Well, we did a debate about when we first got the van. So we have got a is it a medium? Well,
when that Transit was out, it was considered a long wheelbase Transit, but it's more like a medium wheelbase now.
Yeah, it's just under 6 metres, isn't it?
Yeah.
5.7 metres. So we've got a fixed bed in there, and we have got a shower and the kitchen, and a kind of small little bench seat with a table, and it works really well for us, I think. I do kind of wish the bed was a little bit bigger. We do sleep widthways, but we kind of do end up breathing down each other's necks.
Yeah, I mean,
not the most comfortable of all time.
We have a Ford Transit, so the Fiat Ducatos and things like that are obviously more boxy and actually are wider widthways, which means the bed can be a bit bigger.
Yep.
The Ford Transit is a little bit skinnier. I don't think there's anything other than those things that I desperately want. It's very easy to drive around, it's very easy to park in places because it's not too long.
Yeah, it's like a kind of balance, isn't it? Like sacrifice having a smaller van. But I think for us it works. I mean, I think about things a lot, and I would like a bit more of like a lounge kind of seating area, maybe.
Yeah, it's obviously it's a small home on wheels, and we've got everything in there that we need, so there's nothing that we feel like we're missing out on. It's just obviously nice to have a little bit more space in the future.
Yeah, especially if there would be kids on the way, hey?
Oh yeah, we wouldn't be able to have kids in this van. So the next question is, what is your biggest piece of advice for someone wanting to travel? And I would honestly just say, just do it. Just book those flights, or wherever you're travelling to, and just go and do it. You can always come back. It's not forever. If you love it, you love it. If you don't, you don't. And it's
try it out.
Yeah, just try it out.
I think for us as well, when we started wanting to travel, is that we made sure that we saved up.
Yeah.
And I think money can be seen as like a barrier to going and travelling, and people think, oh, you've got to be rich to be able to travel. You don't. You've just got to save and make sure that you might have to cut out certain things that you enjoy, maybe going out and eating out, or buying a coffee every day. It's just kind of cutting back on those things to do something that you'd really enjoy. So
yeah,
that's what we did. We saved up money, and then now we've been able to make it
our full-time job. And I think also as well, don't be scared to talk to people. The media, especially in this country and stuff, is what we see on the news, is that other places are very scary and dangerous. It's just not the case. Obviously you want to be street smart, but we've met loads of people on the road and stuff who've been so helpful and friendly. People have paid for our hotel rooms for us when we haven't had enough money. It's just been an amazing experience. So just get out there.
Stories. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, get out there and just go and explore and just meet people and just experience what different cultures have to offer.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, our best stories definitely involve the people that live there, and they're kind of like the memories that you remember the most.
Absolutely.
The world is a small place.
Okay, the next question is actually one we just had now on YouTube, and it's how much did our van build cost in total? So how much did the van cost and how much did the build cost? So we bought our Ford Transit, which was a 2011 Transit Mark 7. It cost us, I think it was £8,000. It had 59,000 miles on the clock. It was an ex-Network Rail crew van, so it was fairly well looked after. We had just done a big job for a motorhome company, so that's how we had the funds to buy the van. It was a lockdown project, and we probably spent about £6,000 converting it. So it wasn't the cheapest van or cheapest van build, but it wasn't the most expensive either. And as we said before, we were able to build everything that we wanted to have in the van, and it's got all the comfortable things that we need, and it's worked out really well. So you can obviously do it for a lot less, and also we've met people who have spent, £40,000 building a van, so you can obviously do a lot more as well. So the next question is, if Tia and Skye could talk, what would be their favourite place they've travelled to?
Well, they can talk, and they've told me where they no doubt. But yeah, basically, I think for both of them, I'm not sure, but I think Tia, one memory sticks in my head, and it was when we went to Cornwall, and it's called Sennan Cove, and there's this really nice car park that overlooks the beach, and you can see beautiful sunsets from there. And we take the girls out for a walk there, and I remember Tia vividly going on a walk, and she just found this little nook of grass, and she just made herself a little nest, and just was sleeping.
She was rolling around in it, wasn't she?
Yeah, and rolling around. I thought she was how animals nest and kind of hibernate before they die. I thought, oh my gosh, is she gonna die? But she was so happy. She was just sleeping in this little bit of grass, and was just yeah. What do you think about Skye?
Personally, I think Skye's happy wherever we go.
Yeah, I think she's kind of she doesn't have mood swings like Tia. Tia has good days and bad days, whereas Skye is just always excited to get outside. Like this morning with the snow, she was doing loops around the van. She's so excited seeing all the birds, and she's kind of made for this environment as well.
And anywhere that she can see animals outside the van, so there's a place when we were in Devon where there's sheep walking around the van. When we've seen cows walk past the van, anywhere there's birds. Oh, when we were in Monsaras in Portugal, where the
stray cats. Oh yeah, if you haven't seen that video, Monsaras in Portugal, where we fed the stray cats. Oh my goodness, it made my heart melt. They were all watching the stray cats because we were feeding them, and Skye was just sat there, and the other stray cat, they were looking at each other into each other's eyes. It was a very heartfelt moment.
So the next question is, how many countries have we visited? And this is together? Pretty much, yeah, this is together. So we know it's over 30. We think it's about 35 last time we counted.
I think so.
We can't quite remember off the top of the head, but it's around the 35 mark. So we visited a few. We'd like to visit a few more as well. And
yeah, we've slowed down a little bit this year.
Go this way.
We now that we're in the van, it's a lot of it's a different way of travelling.
Yeah.
So we're travelling a lot slower, which means we're obviously not going to as many countries, but
we're exploring those countries more deeply that we do go to. So it's really nice.
We're really enjoying that, getting to see a bit more of the country rather than jet setting off. But we have got some plans for next year.
We are quite keen to maybe do a little bit more backpacking again, but obviously it's more complicated with Tia and Skye now. So I don't know. We're trying to find the good balance to do a bit of both, and also potentially having a base, like we mentioned earlier, somewhere that we can come to and from, and not have to be carrying as much stuff around. So yeah, there's lots of plans in the works, but the question is about 35 countries, we think.
And if you've got any recommendations on where to go,
we'd love to hear them.
Put them in the comments.
Okay, so next couple of questions are, how do we do laundry in the van, and also how do we get internet in the van?
So we've actually got a washing machine in the van. No,
which we don't. I mean, so laundry is very simple. We either go to campsites, which usually have laundries. Our preferred method is to go to a Revolution self-service laundry. They're quite often posted at petrol stations and things like that. They're very fast, very efficient, and not too expensive.
Yeah, they're £5, I think.
Usually it's about £10 for us to do a wash and a dry.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good, because the ones at campsites, they're normally just the home style washing and dryers, and they're a little bit slower and cost a bit more money. And so that's usually what we do. Or if we're visiting family, they quite often let us do a wash there.
Kindly let us.
Yeah, so thank you to them. And also, how do we get internet? We actually have a MaxView 4G booster on our roof, and it basically has a box in the van that acts just like a home Wi-Fi, so we connect to it just as you would at home, and pretty much we can get internet wherever. We know a lot of van lifers say the internet in the UK is terrible. It's not the best, but it's also not the worst. Where we are at the moment, we're in the middle of the woods, and we've got very fast, very good Wi-Fi. So, we actually found it much easier to have. Europe was very difficult for internet because obviously since Brexit, but in the UK we've not really ever had a problem with internet. So get a roof booster on the top of your van, it makes the world of difference. Do you live in the van full time?
Yes. we do not have any other place to live. Obviously we do have our flat, but that is rented out, so there are people living in the flat. So yeah, we live in the van full time. Obviously you may have seen from some of our other videos that we do go and stay in nice hotels sometimes, or other unique kind of stays and getaways. So
that's when we're working with places.
Yeah, obviously that's for work, but it is nice, so we do sometimes get to go and stay in these nice places as well. So it's quite a contrast from, you know, living in a van to staying in these places. But yes, we do live in the van full time.
I just wanted to add to that question as well. It is actually really nice when we do work with hotels and unique places to stay, because it does give us a break from the van, which I think is really important, especially at this time of year. In the summer, I've always said like I could live in a van all year, like when we're on the coast, when we're next to a beautiful beach, when it's warm outside, because you're spending most of your time outdoors anyway. But when it's a lot colder, obviously we've got the heater in the van, but because the daylight the days are so short and it gets darker so much earlier, it's nice to be able to have a work commitment at a hotel or a really nice place to stay and just have a bit of a break from the van, because it just mixes things up a little bit.
So why don't we share locations of where we've been?
Okay, so we used to share a lot of locations, especially on Instagram. That's our biggest audience, and we used to always put the location where we were in the photo. We don't do that anymore, especially on Instagram stories, because usually we're sharing Instagram stories, we were sharing Instagram stories right up where we were and what we were doing at that moment in time. We actually delay Instagram stories now for security purposes. We've actually been working with a hotel before, and I think it was in Budapest. We're working with a hotel, and luckily they actually turned the person away, but we had somebody who was seeing our Instagram stories and came and asked for us in the hotel. We have no idea who those people are. They could have been like the friendliest person in the world, but it's just a little bit scary when people know exactly where you are and what you're doing. So since then we've been quite conscious about security, but also it's an environmental thing as well. So we don't want, especially with vans and park-ups and places like that, we don't want loads of people potentially coming to a place that could be quite delicate in the environment, or just become overcrowded and people then put signs up saying no overnight parking and stuff. So there's a mixture of security and just being conscious about the environment and how we use the environment as well. And just, you know, if you're going travelling, a lot of it is going and exploring and finding new places, and if you really want to find somewhere, there's apps out there and there's lots of places to go park and stay.
And there's a blog.
Oh, and we also have a blog as well, so if you want to see countries and also information, we do put a lot of information on there as well. So we do have lots of information out there, but on social media typically we don't post in real time or give locations on social media. Will we be at Camp Quirky 2023? And the simple answer to that is yes. We have actually been asked to be ambassadors for the next Camp Quirky, which is really exciting. We were there last year and we actually ran 2 workshops, which was really cool. We loved meeting everybody there. So yes, we will be at Camp Quirky 2023.
Yeah, we plan to be there. Maybe with the cats as well. We're not sure. We didn't bring the cats last time because we thought it was a bit overwhelming for them.
So
but
they might be there. Skye probably will be terrified of everybody, but we might bring them with us this time. So if you're going to Camp Quirky 2023, we can't wait to see you there. Where is our next destination?
Okay, so we recently booked this and we were debating whether going back to the Canary Islands or going to Morocco. And the final decision was made and we are off to Morocco in January, so we're really excited. We're currently like planning what we're going to do, and yeah, really excited to go and explore a different part of Morocco, because we have been before about 10 years ago now. Yeah, really excited to go back.
Okay, we're almost there with the questions, so thank you if you're still watching. So this next question is, do we both love travelling as much as each other?
Do you know what first comes to mind when that question, you said the question?
Yep.
Can't get my words out. Is when we first met, our first conversation was actually all about the places that we'd visited and where we wanted to go, which was quite funny. And I think even to this day, we still both are excited about travel, and we get asked quite a lot, like, oh, you know, when are you going to settle down? You know, are you going to stop travelling?
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
No, I think we're just...
Sorry to disappoint.
We're so passionate, and we just get this like buzz of being in new places, trying new things, seeing, trying new experiences, and like capturing that on video and on our for photos as well.
Yeah.
It just like
it's just amazing, and I think
fuels us.
I think there's differences into how we potentially both want to travel. Obviously there's going to be compromises. For me, I would happily go off to the other side of the world for the next 5 years and then come back in 5 years.
Jonny could be a hermit.
Yeah, I could literally travel to Southeast Asia and be there, you know, for a long time and then come back and see family and be absolutely fine with that. I think for Hannah, she's more keen on having a base somewhere and then travelling to and from a base a little bit more and having
I miss people too much, like especially family and friends. Like I do miss that part, like that kind of social aspect, especially now that I've got, you know, there's been 2 new babies born this year. You know, I feel that tie even kind of stronger now. But you know, there's internet. You know, we will be visiting them often.
Yeah. But if we left now, in 3 years' time, we could come back, and that's when they'd be running around having fun anyway. So yeah. I think it's complicated, obviously, with the cats. So we do have to travel slightly differently. Yeah. But yeah, we basically do love travel as much as each other. It's our massive passion, and it makes it actually really easy to work together because we're constantly thinking of where we want to do, where we want to go, and what we want to do next. So
yeah, it's just like the debate is where, basically, you know, between us, who wins on where we go and finding a place that we both want to go to.
Absolutely. So we have come to the end of the questions. We have had more questions, but obviously we don't want the video to go on forever, and we're answering the most sensible ones. We have had some friends who have sent some very silly questions that we don't feel.
You know who you are.
Yeah, we're not answering those questions on camera because our parents are watching. So
and our grandparents.
Yeah, so we're not going to answer those questions. But the last question is, what flavour milkshake would we order?
Oh, I know what you'd order.
This is the most important question of all of them.
I know what you'd order. I think you know what I'd order. Should we answer it for each other? Should we see if I know what you want?
Yeah.
You would want a banana and chocolate mix one.
Yeah.
If they do it.
Are we going for like the straight, like vanilla,
just
strawberry?
Like anything. Yeah, anything.
You'd have a peanut butter one or something like that.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. So
with some chocolate in it, maybe as well.
Awesome. And that is the end of the questions. Thank you so much for all of the questions that have come in, and we have also been asked, why aren't we doing Vlogmas this year? I didn't even know Vlogmas was a thing.
Now we know, and it's a bit too late to do Vlogmas because you know, Christmas has come and gone. So
also, we've never done daily vlogging, and you might think that we're constantly travelling and we're doing something exciting every day. That's simply not the case. Some days we're just chilling. Actually, this time of year is our time off. So this is actually a bonus video for all of those asking. We are actually going to be taking time off now until we head to Morocco, so this is the last video of the year, as Hannah previously mentioned. So yeah, maybe next year we might consider it, but this is time to spend with family and chill and just have a little bit of time off.
We're trying to balance our work-life balance a bit at the moment, and you know, YouTube isn't solely our focus, so we do our blog, we do Instagram, we do TikTok as well, and YouTube. So you know, we do have to be careful on maybe how much we do and not push ourselves too much. But
like anything, it's nice, even though, you know, we are travelling to really cool places all year and stuff, we are working very hard in those places as well, so it's nice to have a bit of time off this time of year.
Hey, who knows, maybe you'll see daily vlogs in the future. Maybe.
This camera, we've got a new grip for the camera, and it's really, like, actually we had this grip before and it broke and we just got a replacement, and I forgot how much weight it adds to the camera. And filming all these questions are like, normally we don't film for like a minute or 2 minutes at a time. My arm is killing.
You need a head cam like Francis Bourgeois.
So I think we're going to wrap it up there. We're going to put the camera down. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you've all had an amazing Christmas, and we'll see you next year for some new adventures.
Yes. Happy New Year, and see you soon.
See you later.
Bye.